Some relationships destroy people's happiness. They create anxiety, stress, jealousy, emotional exhaustion. And yet, many people find themselves returning to the same toxic patterns over and over again, even when they know they're being hurt, even when they know they should leave. Why? Why do some people become addicted to relationships that make them miserable? And why can healthy relationships sometimes feel boring? The answer lies deep inside human psychology. Because what many people call love is often something else entirely. Hello, everyone. This is The Quiet Signal, where we explore the psychology behind the world around us. Most people believe attraction is simple. You meet someone, you fall in love, you build a relationship. But reality is rarely that straightforward. Psychologists have long observed a strange pattern. Many individuals repeatedly choose partners who create instability, uncertainty, and emotional turmoil. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because the human brain often confuses emotional intensity with genuine connection. And toxic relationships are experts at creating intensity. One of the most powerful psychological forces in toxic relationships is uncertainty. Humans crave predictability, but strangely, our brains can become obsessed with unpredictability. Imagine two partners. One consistently shows affection. The other gives affection randomly, sometimes loving, sometimes distant, sometimes available, sometimes completely absent. Logic suggests the consistent partner should feel more attractive. Yet the opposite often happens. Because unpredictable rewards create stronger emotional attachment. The same mechanism appears in gambling systems. People continue playing slot machines, not because rewards are guaranteed, but because they are uncertain. And toxic relationships often operate in exactly the same way. Moments of affection become rewards. Periods of distance become emotional withdrawals. The brain begins chasing the next emotional high, not unlike an addiction. For many people, relationship preferences begin long before adulthood. Psychologists call this attachment theory. As children, people learn what love feels like. If affection was stable and reliable, healthy relationships often feel natural later in life. But if love was inconsistent, love can become associated with anxiety. Attention becomes something that must be earned. Approval becomes something that must be chased. As adults, some individuals unconsciously seek relationships that recreate familiar emotional patterns, even when those patterns are painful. Because familiarity often feels safer than the unknown, even when the familiar is unhealthy. Toxic relationships create emotional extremes, intense arguments, passionate reconciliations, fear of loss, moments of relief. These emotional swings trigger powerful chemical responses inside the brain. Stress hormones rise, dopamine fluctuates, adrenaline increases, and over time, the relationship begins to feel exciting. But excitement is not the same thing as love. Many people mistake emotional chaos for passion because calm relationships lack the dramatic highs and lows they have become accustomed to. The result is dangerous. Healthy stability starts feeling boring, while emotional instability feels exciting. Another reason people remain in toxic relationships is the desire to fix someone. Many believe their love can heal another person. They imagine that enough patience, enough sacrifice, enough understanding will eventually transform the relationship. But this creates a trap. The relationship becomes focused on potential instead of reality. People stop evaluating who their partner actually is and begin focusing on who they hope that person will become. Months turn into years. Promises replace change, and the cycle continues. Sometimes the greatest force keeping people in toxic relationships isn't love. It's fear. Fear of loneliness. Fear of starting over. Fear that no one else will come along. Humans are social creatures. Connection feels essential. And when people believe they cannot find better relationships, they often tolerate unhealthy ones. The relationship may be painful, but the unknown feels even scarier. So they stay, not because they are happy, but because uncertainty feels unbearable. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of toxic relationships is that they can imitate genuine love. Obsession can feel like devotion. Possessiveness can feel like protection. Dependency can feel like intimacy. Control can feel like care. But real love doesn't require constant anxiety. It doesn't thrive on manipulation. It doesn't demand emotional exhaustion. Healthy relationships are often quieter, more predictable, less dramatic. And because of that, they are sometimes overlooked. Why do humans love toxic relationships? Because the brain isn't always searching for what's healthy. Sometimes it's searching for what's familiar, what's exciting, what's emotionally intense, what's difficult to let go of. Toxic relationships exploit uncertainty, childhood patterns, emotional addiction, and the fear of being alone. But understanding these forces changes everything. Because once people recognize the difference between love and emotional dependency, they stop chasing chaos and start recognizing something far more valuable. A relationship that brings peace instead of pain. Because the healthiest love stories are rarely the loudest. They're the ones that don't feel like a battle at all. Subscribe to understand better human psychology.